Welcome to the Reticle podcast, where I, 3-Gun Kenzie, will be interviewing competitive shooters, hunters, fishermen, archers, entrepreneurs, and outdoorsmen. Come learn with me as I interview people from all walks of life, in different disciplines, all across the world, from novices to professionals of all ages. No matter what, everyone has something they can teach you, so come join me on the journey. Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. I'm here with my buddy, Chase Rains. So he's the owner of Valhalla Armory, and he's a competitive shooter on Team Ely. I think we finally met in person this year, I want to say.
Yeah, I believe so. Low cap, Nats.
Yeah, it's cool how like you meet people kind of like on social media because you have a really small following. And then when you finally meet them in person, it's like you already know the people.
Yeah, you were clutch that match, though. You picked me up at the airport without knowing me, so that was cool.
That was not sketchy. Okay, but legit, look, the shooting community, right? Like, I've had offers to stay at people's places that I've like never really met or know. So, although I will never pick you up from the airport again because you tried to throw my CMP card out the window, and that takes an hour to do.
You didn't need it.
So much stress. So, yeah, kicking this off, I want to know, like, where did you first learn how to shoot firearms?
So I started shooting just rifles, handguns when I was 4 with my dad.
Wow.
Just kind of out shooting rabbits, prairie dogs. Never really did any competitive things until like 3 years ago. Yeah, just, hunting was everything growing up. So we'd go out, spend the day blowing rabbits up, prairie dogs, have a competition of who got more. So I started out with 223 and then gradually built up to bigger rifles.
Okay. Now, did you eat prairie dogs? Is that something people do?
No, we eat rabbit, but not prairie dogs. They're just varmints. So keep the cows from breaking their legs.
True that. Yeah. No, I like rabbit. I just wasn't sure on prairie dogs. That's not where I'm from.
We eat squirrel, but no prairie dogs.
Yeah. Okay, so that's pretty cool. So, like, what was the first firearm that you actually bought yourself when you finally got into it?
Like for competition or just when I turned 18?
In general, like when was that first time you went out and bought a gun? And what was it?
First time was a 1911 45.
Oh, so you went to a badass off the get-go.
Yeah, that was my first gun. I bought a matching set, and then I had this cool holster that would hold both of them in it, and it would sit on my lower back.
No, you didn't.
I bought that. Yeah. Ended up buying it in some like little gun shop in the mountains one day. Thought it was the coolest thing ever.
Whoever made that had to have the biggest man's ego in the world to have 2 guns.
Oh, for sure, yeah. And of course, I bought it, and I'm like, yeah, 2 matching 1911s.
Was it comfortable?
Top of the world. It wasn't bad. I mean, wore it when I was 4-wheeling and stuff, and just I didn't know no better at 18. I just was like, yeah, fuck, why not?
Yeah. So was it like
better.
Deadpool style where you just pull them out?
Yeah, you just grab them from behind your back and good to go.
Yeah. That's hysterical. It's hysterical. So like
it's all nice leather holster. It's really nice made, but yeah, and then I realized it's kind of ridiculous. So
okay. When did you change guns then after that? What'd you go to?
Ever since then I've been shooting Glocks. I just love Glocks. So
and you're good at shooting Glocks, which that's hard to do.
Yeah, I have good luck with those things, so I enjoy them.
So like when you
shoot everything I put in them.
Yeah, that's true. They eat up everything. Now, when you were like that kiddo or whatever, did you open carry or like did you take a concealed carry class or what'd you do before like competition shooting?
Not to incriminate myself, but I just carried, concealed carry.
Yeah.
I decided out of mind's my theory on that. I don't think anybody needs a permit to have something to defend themselves.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But it was different times also. A lot of people had guns in their cars at schools. We didn't have all this issues like nowadays. So it's a lot easier just to carry and not, I didn't carry in school, but definitely in the parking lot.
Yeah. No, yeah. I've traveled and made sure I had a firearm at all times pretty much. But, so like what came first? Did you jump into like a shooting competition or did you take a class of any kind or get training or what?
How I found USPSA or just
yeah. How did you like find the world of competitive shooting? And like, did you get educated and take a class first? Or you just went straight into competition mode?
No, so I was teaching basic pistol and stuff. Like I had my own system that I was training and teaching people. And then I just happened to get an email about the USPSA in Odessa and never knew what it was. So I showed up with my drop leg holster, Glock, just just all that good stuff, like we all start with, and shot it, sucked at it, and I was very accurate, but it was very slow. So every time I come into position, set up real nice, make sure I got dead center hits. So
yes, I remember those days. What was that like? Do you remember like how the community was, or like how what your experience, what you were thinking about when you were shooting this match?
Yeah, I mean, I was like, I'm killing it, just killing the points. Didn't really understand hit factor and any of the, time. I saw the guys just burning it down. I'm thinking, oh, well, whatever. They're not hitting the center, so I'll win with my points. Never got last, but was like second or third to last.
Yep. Humbling then, experience.
And I'm a very competitive person, so I did not like that. So it didn't last long.
Do you remember, did you start out in like shooting limited, or what'd you do?
So I was shooting limited minor, yeah. I was using my Glock 19. So
it's a good division, I think, for a lot of people to start with. It's easy. Most people have a gun that works. You don't have to count rounds. Simple. Yeah,
and then after like 5 locals, switched to production and just shot the 19 there, so I could keep the points with the minor scoring across the board.
Yeah. That's why carry optics, I think, is so much fun to shoot. You have a level playing field for those that don't reload ammo.
Right, for sure.
So do you remember like going back, like, so what was the progress for you when you went to that first competition? Like what made you go back? What were you thinking? What made you improve?
Losing. That was my driving factor. I couldn't leave and not come back and, beat the guys that beat me.
Oh.
So I'm overly competitive.
Did you ever read the rule book?
No, never read it to this day.
What? Jeez. At least you're honest.
I just wing it.
At least you're honest. Oh my God. So, I mean, what classification did you start out with limited too?
So I jumped right into B class and limited.
Nice. And now where you're at?
Master and that and carry optics, and then A and open and production.
So are you working on one right now specifically to hit GM?
No, I'm kind of playing in all divisions, just kind of seeing where I want to make at my home. So
what are you?
I really love limited. We all know that. That's my main thing, but I'm really leaning towards possibly open next season.
Yeah, because Ely makes ammo for it now.
Right. So that's the issue with the limited is they don't make 40 yet. I'm not sure when. It's not the biggest market, of course.
Yeah.
So we'll see what either carry optics production or open. We'll see. I liked open and shot it recently, and it was a fun time.
I feel like 40 or USPSA is what keeps 40 caliber alive. Just saying.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
That's the only reason it's in existence still.
Yeah, we don't sell many 40s at the shop, so
yeah,
unless they're competitive shooters.
True. So, like, what's one thing you wish you had done sooner when it comes to competitive shooting?
I wish I would have went and took a class.
Yeah.
I was self-taught for the first 2 years.
Well, then when did you take your first class?
I took a JJ Reticle class about a year ago at, what match was it? It was down in Houston. I can't remember. It was one of the Texas matches. So.
What changed?
That was everything. Efficiency and movement. He's like, you're fast, you shoot fast, you see fast, but you're very wild. Mm-hmm. Anybody's watched me shoot from a couple years back, it's just raw. It was nasty, but very sloppy hits.
Wait, that's changed since now? No, I'm just kidding.
A little more accurate now with the wild side. So
yeah. Okay, so taking a class. I mean, and then have you taken another one since JJ?
Yeah, so I took JJ's class, and then I took a Max Michelle class, and then I also took a secondary JJ class. So
okay. So what are these things that instructors like can point out that you can't necessarily see for yourself?
Just inefficiencies. Definitely, like you don't realize how much time you burn and exiting wrong, or coming into the position wrong, or keeping the gun down coming into position. It's all these fractional seconds that just add up in the end of a match, especially big matches like nationals where it's 20 stages. If you're burning 2 seconds a stage, you're out of the top, right?
Yeah.
So, efficiency is everything. That's where Max and JJ excel at for sure.
Yeah. For you, like, were you on your own too, and like the whole process, or did you ever have friends like that went to the competitions with you, or were you just literally by yourself trying to figure it out?
So originally it's just me, and then I picked up another buddy of mine that's never done it either. So we kind of just wrought it, and then about halfway through my first season, that's when I met O'Cotter at a match.
What was that experience like? What did y'all do? What was your first date?
So it's called Paper and Iron Championship. And it was on Odessa. It's like a 40-year match that it finally ended. The guy retired, but we were both B class limit, and I ended up taking a win on him there. He got second, and then we've just been best friends since. So it was nice because it was somebody to compete with and drive us to be better. Because both of us were on our first season, we didn't know the sport, so it was nice to be able to bounce off each other.
So has Trevor read the rule book?
I doubt it.
Throwing him under the bus. So both of you haven't actually progressed in learning anything rule-wise.
No, yeah, we just learned to shoot and go fast.
Oh my god!
We'll worry about the rules when it comes time.
Okay, well, looking back now, though, for the newer people listening, what do you think is like the hardest part or the worst part about showing up to a match without a clue of like hit factor or rulings or gear or any of that?
Best thing you do for a new shooter is just be humble when you come, and just be an open book to absorb everything. Like you might think you're a badass, but you're not. When it comes to that kind of sport, it's totally different than shooting tactically, right? We teach a lot of PD guys, and I show them some of the competition stuff, and it's just two different levels, but two different, needs to be trained on that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a class would have been something everyone should have done sooner, right?
I agree.
So, okay, you've shot USPSA. Have you dabbled in IDPA?
I've never shot IDPA.
Okay, yeah, no, I haven't either. But this past weekend, we had like a charity match, and they used IDPA targets and IDPA scoring, and it was the worst experience I've ever had in my entire life. Like you just rack up time.
Oh,
I did. I did very well for what I thought that I was not doing well. You know what I mean?
I feel like I would excel in that, like just from watching videos, but I don't know. There's just not much IDPA around here.
Yeah, I had no clue. It was frustrating.
I'm not a big fan of vests.
Well, you didn't have to wear the vest. This is the whole thing. Nice. Everyone had to shoot limited 10. Everyone had to shoot like the division capacities, like USPSA, right? And then you had to do some stages IDPA mandatory with the target, whatever threat stuff. I don't know. Yep. Then the rings were the thing. Dude.
IDPA has its, specific things that are cool about it, for more of a tactical shooting. Like I could see that as well, but
yeah,
I think it's more for like the guys that want to be fluid, not fast, right?
Yeah. I couldn't really slow myself down in one match. You know what I mean?
It seems like most USPSA shooters that go shoot IPA just crush everybody.
Yeah.
It's just what I've seen from scores. So not
from I shocked myself. Yeah. Having some sort of competitive experience helps.
Right.
Now, okay, you have shot 3-gun though, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, what did you do? TAC ops or open?
TAC ops.
Okay, how'd that go? What matches did you shoot?
Just some in this area. We had there's pretty good following on 3-gun for a while out here, and then it kind of died off. My first year I was there, so I never hit any majors in it. Sadly, I enjoyed it though. Really, really enjoyed shotgun. That's the one thing I missed because I'm real proficient with a rifle, but I enjoy shotgun a lot.
Why is everyone so afraid of a shotgun, you think?
I guess they're noodle, maybe. I've always shot shotguns growing up, and I don't see that it's a hard thing to run or load or.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think it's unknown, right? People are scared of the unknown. They don't want to look like a fool trying to quad load and totally just bum it up. So.
They put too much thought in that when we saw it at 2-gun. It's like when pistol shooters learned that they had to manage like 2 different firearms, like, all hell breaks loose. It's not necessarily a shotgun. I think it's just, there's a lot of different aspects that go into shooting and mastering 3 different weapons platforms.
For sure. Agreed.
So did you went out and shot, like, did you train after that or did you learn like what you need to work on?
After the 3-gun or just?
Yeah. 3-gun stuff.
Yeah. I didn't really train much. I just winged it and had fun. So.
Jace. Did you
I didn't know any better.
That's true. Did you quad load a shotgun?
Yeah, I can quad load a shotgun.
Okay. So how do we get you back to 3-gun?
Give me a shotgun.
Okay. I mean, you don't want mine.
All I just ran the JM Pro when I that's all I had. So I really enjoyed it. It ran great, but I'm sure there's way better shotguns out there than a Mossberg. But
yeah,
I'm not willing to dedicate that much money to 3 different guns currently.
Yeah, right.
I enjoy the stages of 3-gun. Like, I think they're awesome having the natural terrain stages. I wish USPSA had more of those. Like, I think that definitely changed the game for sure. But then I don't think you would have the same amount of people wanting to play that.
Yeah.
Because it is a very physical. I think 3-gun's more physical, running up a hill and, rocky terrains, etc. So.
Yeah. I remember, I think it was John Browning this summer. He posted a stage from Nordic and his time was over a minute. So in Instagram, it goes for 60 seconds. He's like, I had to make this a reel because he's wicked fast. And so for him to shoot a over 60-second stage, us less than ideal shooters, it's like 3-minute stages. I don't know. That's good time.
But then again, like somebody might be super proficient in handgun shooting at USPSA, but then they go to 3-gun and it just kills them on the rifle or shotgun positions. So, but then again, like 3-gunners, they go shoot USPSA, they'll usually see some fault in their handgun work, right? Because they're putting in all the time with shotgun and rifle. So I think it's a hard translation to just jump back and forth to those two.
Oh, I agree. Now, have you shot like Steel Challenge or any other sports as well?
I shot a little bit of Steel Challenge my first year just for fun. Didn't really know what I was doing again. Just, of course. They said just shoot at the 5 pieces and make it happen. So. Overall, the few of those, won some prizes from those, but nothing like the World Speed Shooter, not like that. Just, I don't know. Steel Challenge never really caught my eye. I think it will in the next few years as my daughter gets older, because that's what we'll start in. But for now, I don't really care about steel. Sure.
So but my question for you, and this is why I was leading up to this. So you've shot USPSA, 3-gun, Steel Challenge. Why is it good? And shotgun, obviously. So why is it good to be a well-rounded shooter though, in multiple shooting disciplines? How do they kind of help each other out?
I think if you're proficient like USPSA, you can gain some time on people on 3-gun for sure. Especially if your weakness is a rifle or shotgun. So you can kind of burn up some of your mistakes in that with your handgun speed, if you're proficient with it, right? Just knowing 3 different platforms, though, it just makes you better in life for any kind of shooting. Everybody should know how to fix malfunctions in ARs or shotguns, handguns, because that shit happens a lot.
Really? I've never had that happen.
You know best.
Yeah. I've never. What are you talking about?
Yeah. And then I think you should become a gunsmith because,
I mean, I'm kind of ish there. I don't know. I haven't had a rifle problem when I built my rifle. I don't understand shotguns. I don't. They're simple. They're too simple. So why are they messing up?
Yeah.
I don't.
Just your bad juju.
I don't know. Okay, so why did you stick with USPSA? What was the intrigue there to stick to that sport specifically?
So when I shot 3-gun, like I said, I really enjoyed it. But then again, you have 10K tied up in 3 guns, but they're not the best guns at 10K, right? Let's say you take a Dissident, right? What's Dissident? About $3,000 roughly.
4-ish now, yeah.
4-ish, and then you want a good AR that's at least 2 minimum. For
my
a decent AR.
3, my pistol's 3, my shotgun's 3. I have 9.
That's
for the best.
Right. So that's some good shit, right?
Yeah, Atlas, made my own, and then running Benelli.
Right. So for me, it was all right, I want to take that 10 grand and put it into handguns that I can use as a backup in a primary, right? 10 grand and a couple guns. I guess, I can afford the 3-gun to get better guns, but then at the time I was tired of hauling this heavy ass box with 3 guns and 3 kinds of ammo and all this gear, and it's just a lot if you're not super dedicated to it, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but I will say the community in 3-gun's is really cool because I showed up to a match and it was a 50 round shotgun stage and I had a 4 round caddy, and they're like, "Oh, here, borrow my chest rig." Yeah, it's just that's the nice thing about shooting communities is everybody's is willing to loan out guns, gear, but they don't expect anything in return, right?
Yeah.
They're not like, "Oh yeah, you owe me $500."
Yeah, no, we want people shooting.
Right. So it's really nice. I think that's the best part of our sport is the people for sure.
Now, for I feel with your terrain stages and stuff, did you shoot bay style stages? Did you shoot long range? Did you shoot run and gun? I'm just kind of intrigued at what you had out where you live.
Mostly long range because we just have open plains out here.
Nice. See,
yeah,
that's
maybe
cool.
run through some beans, and it's fun though. I mean, taking it out, plate rack at 300 yards. That's a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
I learned a lot doing those because like I was shooting at EOTech, and at 300 yards, the dot's bigger than the plate, so it's just kind of guessing. Yeah.
No, that doesn't sound fun.
But experience comes from, right? Keep doing matches and seeing what works, what doesn't work. So
yeah, you got to keep coming back for more. So yeah, first match, honestly, go to the first match, get out of the way.
Exactly.
It's very painful. Now, like for right now too, you've almost been like a mentor to a couple of kiddos, and I say kids because we're old. So like, what are the new competitors that you're bringing to the shooting sports? What are you teaching them, and what matches have they shot with you?
So Riley's my main student right now. Riley Murphy, mullets and bullets. He has a nice mullet. He's a good kid. He came from Still Challenge, real fast at Still Challenge. Trevor actually trained him in Still Challenge.
Nice.
He did some kind of club for the boys and girls there in the area. And so once he wanted to go to USPSA, he came train with me. Took him to like North Arizona Classic, CO Nats. He went to Area 4, I believe. He's been to about 5 big matches with me this year. And he's just excelled every match. It's impressive. He shot Dragon's Cup. So it's impressive. His drive is nice. It's just, he's not, he wants to beat me. So he's just always pushing and pushing. Every big match, he's about 10% better. It's cool to watch him come from the bottom. And now he's saying about a good A-class shooter. So in his first year, which I wish I had somebody to help me when I was first started. It would have made a huge difference.
Yeah. Now, and he's a junior level shooter, right? Like how old is he?
He's 17, so yeah, he has 2 more years. He's just turning 17, or he is 17, one of the two.
Yeah, I saw him in Texas this year, and I feel like from Texas to nationals, like grew up overnight.
Yeah.
Taller, I don't know.
Puberty hit.
Yeah. I didn't want to say it. Sorry, Riley.
No, he's a great kid. So he's real focused right now. He's training for Still Challenge. He wants to shoot the World Speed Shoot next year, so that's his main focus. And then we'll get back on the USPSA train.
So what does he shoot in USPSA, and what is his goal in World Speed Shoot? Like what division is he going for?
So carry optics, he shoots a SIG in there, but his main thing is just iron sight pistol. He shoots a Corson. It's all done up. Yeah. So it's a damn nice 22 for whatever he has into it. I think it's like $4,000. Which to me, I just can't do it. But whatever it is, I could be wrong. It could be $2,000. But either way, for me, it's like I ain't putting that much on a 22.
Actually, I'm setting up an NRL 22 rifle, but that's a different game. That'll get me to PRS one day. So
I mean, he just wants to win. So I mean, I believe his master class in 22 and carry optics had Still Challenge.
So we've kind of seen a lot of this happen recently. I think, Chris Barrett came over from Still Challenge in the USPSA. Why did I forget his name? I know his name. Wins all the matches. Oh my goodness. Shoots for Palmetto.
Never heard of him.
That's going to bother me.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Anyways, but it'll come to me in a minute because I just blanked. But all of these kids that are junior shooters that are, at the top of their level in Still Challenge are coming over and they're crushing USPSA.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. It has to do with that gun handling. They're shooting that steel as fast as they see it. I think that transitions to help them on seeing the targets and everything faster. And like Riley, you put him in this half steel stage and he crushes that steel like it's nothing. It's just pop, 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 pop.
Yeah.
So, and his biggest inefficiency was movement, but that's, in Still Challenge, you're only moving box to box. So it's hard to train that when you don't need it, right?
Yeah.
But once you combine all the skills they already have and then add what they need, it's just, they're going to be, the kids nowadays are just killing it in the sport. I mean,
yes.
I wish I started as a kid. It'd been great. I think it started till 27. So, and I would have not broke as many bones as a kid if I was actually doing this. Yeah. I'm going to break my back and all the good stuff. So,
yeah, that's not good.
But no, I look forward to the students. They're crushing it. So,
I remember the name Grant Kunkel. Duh.
Yeah, Grant. Okay, I do know Grant. I didn't know he shot Palmetto, but
yeah. So like he's been doing really good. Shot 2 gun. It's been a huge year for him. So I think that Still Challenge has its place though for like eye speed and transitions and being able to call your shots and stuff. And that's what's cool is like those skills are transferable, and then movement's easier to pick up once you have the accuracy down.
No, for sure, because then you just incorporate it all and make it work. So.
Yeah. Now, in your opinion, like how important is it for us shooters to bring new people, into the shooting community? And how did you do that? How did you find that kid, and help them?
I mean, if we don't bring more people, we're going to lose, we're not going to grow any more than we are. And that just, the older we all get, the less, the sport's going to get smaller and smaller if we don't bring in the youth. The more youth shoots, they tell their friends want to come, right? It's word of mouth grows the sport, in my opinion. And the younger you get them, the more, they're addicted to it. And then it's a lifelong thing. So bullets over drugs, right?
This was like a healthy addiction.
But yeah, and these kids, I just find kids that their parents kind of shout me out. They'll see me at a match shooting it, and they're just like, "Hey, I want you to teach my kid." Some of them just hit me up randomly on Instagram and be like, "Hey, I like, the videos you do are cool. What is that?" And so I'm just like, "Hey, man, if you want to come check it out, we'll meet up at the range." And so it's just you grab them from different, demographics of life. Yeah. Some they'll see me on Instagram and they've never shot a gun in their life because their parents aren't real big on guns. So those are a little bit trickier to get on. Mm-hmm. But, once they become an adult, then they're on it. So
yeah, juniors definitely need their support somehow of their parent or guardian,
For sure, yeah.
It's kind of impossible. Yeah. But the ones that do have it, they are the world champions.
That's why I got guardianship of Riley. That's my son.
Do you really?
No, I mean, I get to take him wherever I want, but yeah. I mean, according to the Williams sisters, I'm his dad, so. I don't know. Like, is that your son? I'm like, yeah.
Well, he has the mullet, you have the beard, so,
Yeah, apparently I look, old enough to be his dad, so. Awesome.
That's terrible. Okay, I do have a question about that too. Like, there are people that are like natural born teachers, I feel like, or there's people that like can't teach, but they can shoot. But what are some like the basics that we really need to share with new competitors? Like even thinking about your first match, what do you wish someone had just ran over the basics with you about?
Honestly, the biggest thing I preach to my guys is mindset. Mindset's everything in the sport, in my opinion. Like you can learn shooting, you can learn movement, you can learn all the stuff you have to do in the sport. But if you don't have the right mindset, you'll break. It's that simple, in my opinion. That's just from my learning. So I wish somebody had told me mindset was everything, because my first season I would just get frustrated and just start ripping splits. So, that's not the way it works. So
what changed? Like, what is the mindset you have now?
Just go with the flow, ice in the veins, right? Just, if you make a mistake, don't speed up, just finish your stage the way you planned it. If a gun breaks, you can't do anything about that. You just got to carry on. Don't let your mindset change of what your goal is. And, if your gun breaks mid-stage, you can't finish the stage, you take that loss on that stage, and then you try to just keep your scores on the rest of the stages. You can usually drop a bad stage here and there and still come out pretty well. But once you get that mindset that you drop that stage and I got to burn this other 5 stages down, then you're compiling mistakes and then you end up losing. So.
Oh, okay. And I don't know if you listened to Mike Stoker's episode with me, because we talked about your mindset of how you just blow off the bad stage and like move on. And meanwhile, him and I are trying to figure out how to do that. Like, how did you teach yourself, or how do you like come off a bad stage and rewire your brain to like move on? What do you do?
I've always had that mindset, like in overall, like in life, just bad shit's going to happen. It's part of life. I've had some stuff happen back in my day that just helped me with that mindset. We won't get into detail of that, but just, that's key, is just breathe and just let it happen. I mean, after the stage is gone, it's gone. There's nothing I can do to bring it back and get it back. Points are gone. I mean, I wish I could get it back, but why let that bother your, next stage? So I usually give me and my students about a minute or two to be pissed off about it, move on. So, but me, honestly, I just walk away from the stage. I'm done. It's over. It's on the next one. So
yeah,
I'm very, I feel like I'm pretty chill I don't let things get to me overall.
So frustrating from our perspective of we can't replicate that.
Right. It happens. Yeah. I think it's one of my stronger attributes. So.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, and like the overall experience, I think of teaching someone too also can like help you listen to yourself better. You know what I mean? Like we'll tell them what to do and we're like, why don't we just do that as well? I don't know if that makes sense or not, but it helps both people.
Yep.
Okay. Definitely. So going into, go ahead.
Yeah. Hearing it out loud definitely, I think helps yourself learn.
Yeah.
Because you know, I tell Riley something and I'm like, oh yeah, I should probably take that advice too.
Yeah. Well, then you guys come like a team. So he probably knows how to help you and you are not, happy with the performance and like vice versa. Right.
Yeah. When he's frustrated, you know, I tell him to go take a walk and get his head right. So it's good to have somebody like to hang out with and actually keep your game right. So like Trevor was that for me before he moved back to Houston. You know, I'd slap him and be like, focus, figure it out. So it's nice.
It's nice. So for you, tell me about your journey into like division wise. Like I know you shoot a bunch, right? So how are you mastering a dot and how are you mastering irons and how are you going back and forth? Are you dry firing in between? Like that's really hard to do.
So irons is always my main game. I love irons. So production, I started in that because I felt that would make me more proficient in my reloading and movement and stage planning, which I think has definitely helped a lot. If you see my magwell, my limited gun, it barely has any scratches over 3 seasons. I don't miss hardly ever. And that bugs people. They're always like, oh, it's a new magwell. I'm like, no, something I practiced a lot, right? Mm-hmm. Especially reloading into a Glock. You don't have any room for error. It's tiniest magwell ever. Or no magwell, it's just the frame.
Yeah.
But transitioning, from 9 to 40, that's no big deal. It's just recoil. I know you didn't like the recoil too much, but
I had the wrong gun. Yeah. No, and I called that. I knew that I had the wrong gun. Didn't weigh enough.
Yeah.
Polymer grips are not for me.
Right. But yeah, transitioning to dot, and I've dabbled in dot this season more than any. It was definitely a big difference. My biggest hiccup was I shot my first major at Area 1 with CO. And that was my 5th ever CO match, like just at locals. First stage, I plugged 2 no-shoots because I forgot height over bore. Yeah. So dead center at the dot, about 2, I'm just like, shit. So I learn on the fly. Like, it's just, I can shoot all guns pretty proficiently, right? But as like a match goes, you'll see my scores increase on something I don't ever shoot because I'm getting more comfortable on the fly. But I don't find it hard to transition, honestly. I feel like once I shoot dot and I go back to irons, I actually shoot my irons better.
Yeah, no, I noticed that this past weekend because I hadn't shot limited 10 since low cap. And I've been playing a little bit, with PCC. I actually shot carry optics in between there too. And I was like, okay, wow, iron's a lot easier once you have your eyes open, you really understand dot movement and lifting sights and all of that. I don't know. It worked.
I definitely agree that it makes you a better iron shooter. But most people that go dot don't ever go back.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that
they experience that, right? And they're just like, oh yeah, fuck irons. I'm staying with the dot. Because don't get me wrong, I think dot's way easier.
Yeah. 100%. Well, and I don't have the open. I don't have the gun nor the ammo loading capacity. But it's like, once they go open, they kind of never go back to peasantry. I don't know. I like shooting multiple divisions. I mean, I know people make fun of PCC, but I think PCC also has helped me move better because I'm moving with such a large firearm. So it's made everything else faster. I don't know why.
Yeah, I get a lot of shit for switching divisions so much. Everybody's like, focus on one, you'll be, But I feel like, all my scores across the board, with different divisions, I placed pretty well for, never doing it. Like CO Nats, I took like 97th. Mm-hmm. And that was my second major in CO. I felt that was pretty strong for how deep that competition pool was.
Everybody was in that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was stacked. So.
Okay. I know you mentioned earlier when you were talking about different classes, not really having, I guess, like goals-ish. But okay, for 2022, thinking about that. Do you have goals for each division and what matches you're shooting next year? Like what you want to end up? Okay, what are those?
So like I'm shooting multi-gun Nats. Which I've never done that before.
What?
So I'd like to take top 20 in that.
You didn't tell me that, bro.
We're just on barely talking right now.
What? Oh yeah.
So I'm hoping to kick off the year with that one.
Okay.
I think it'd be a fun match. And then I got like Texas State Open, which is an old match in Houston. They haven't had it in a couple of years. They finally got a new range, so I'm excited for that one. That was just a good match to have fun at. And then I got Dragons Cup, of course, which is in my backyard, so that's the match of the year. That one I haven't decided. I'm probably going to shoot it limited so I can do what I did last year and hopefully do better than the 6th overall. Mm-hmm. And then I got L10 Nats. So irons are kind of the first thing for the season.
Okay.
Trying to place top 10 in L10 Nats.
What?
Normally I would be
Go ahead. I was curious what shotgun you're actually going to run in multi-gun nationals then.
Whatever I borrow, I guess.
Yeah, you don't want to borrow mine. I'd offer, but yeah.
I'll probably hit up Brian and see what he has in the truck for me.
Sorry, Brian. Every time I borrowed a gun from him, it did not work. So
that's just you. Yeah, you have bad juju.
Not just me. Oh man. Okay, so irons for the start. What's next then? Are you gonna do the carry optics?
So definitely, I'm hitting 4 nationals this year again. Okay. So, L10, which would be new for me. I've never done that one yet. I usually shoot production during that match, but since they fucked that up, I'll be shooting L10, and I feel like I can top 10 that pretty strongly. After that, I'm gonna hit area 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. So all those I expect myself to hit, top 20 or better. Nice. Those are all goals, no matter what division I'm shooting in them.
Okay.
So I feel some are gonna be a little tougher than others, of course. I mean, the heat there's depend on the division.
Yeah.
Because like some areas you'll have more limited heat, some areas you'll have more open CO, right? So
yeah,
and then we saw that. Oh, good.
I was gonna say we saw that drop off just with carry optics. I think the popularity, everybody moved into that division. Now there's 300-400 shooters, shooting that.
Exactly. It's it's fun division. Mm-hmm. So I enjoyed it a lot. I don't know guns. I borrowed guns for all those CO matches, so I got to get some. This year is the year of borrowing shit.
You own a Firearms like FFL company, dude. Like, figure it out.
Just trying different things. I want to shoot a Glock carry optics, but I really enjoyed the SIG, so it's like, what do I do? Yeah. So I'm gonna do some testing off season, see which one I like best. I got 2-gun Nats, which I took 21st in that last year, I think, for my first time shooting a PCC.
Nice.
I borrowed Gattusa's Iron City, and it ran really well, but I did not know the zero on it, so I was having hell with the clay pigeons. So,
now, did you have height over bore problems with that?
No, that one's, it's just like an AR. It's just the distance shit without knowing the dope on it. So, so I built my own. So pretty excited about that. It's a Iron City with the Break barrel and all that, whatever that Max.
Brecky custom barrel? Brecky upper?
Sure, that one.
Oh my God, they're in the brands.
I don't shoot PCC, so.
Yeah, but you sell firearms. Like, come on, bro.
Most people buy guns for me don't ever shoot competition, so they're just like, I want a Glock or a Taurus or.
No. Yeah. I have the full Brecky custom though, and it's an amazing firearm. PCC, like nice. I can't say enough good things about that. That's pretty cool. And I've seen when I was ROing PCC nationals too. I feel like everyone almost had a Brecky custom upper for the most part. Like people are using those.
Yeah, I've heard good things about the barrels for sure and the uppers. I've never shot mine yet. I just built it and it's in the safe. So
yeah, I mean it's cool though because like you can have it timed to the right, timed to the left. It actually goes with how you push the gun, how all your ammo stuff. I mean it's just neat. It's very neat.
Yeah, so I'm gonna get it fitted to the Ely ammo, of course, for PCC, and just I'll have a good time with it. So I'm not like gonna go PCC full time or nothing. So,
but 2-gun Nats, what's your goal? Just top 20 again?
I like top 10 at this year, so that's always a goal of mine. I think now that I know the clays and shit, I'll be able to execute a little better.
Okay, but how are you going to hit all of these goals? Like, what is your training gonna look like?
Very structured.
Okay.
So
elaborate.
No, secrets. All secrets.
Oh.
Gotta do it all in the laboratory,
No.
No, just I'm a busy guy, so training doesn't come often for me, sadly. But utilize the weekends on these off-season time just to try different divisions and get proficient with all of them. So
you actually dry fire?
I do. I dry fire a lot, actually.
Yeah.
That's my main reason why I feel like I've gotten better is just almost all dry fire. So some years I'll be able to put a lot of live rounds downrange. Some years I'm working out of state, so I'm in the apartment and I get off work at dark, so it's dry fire.
Yeah. I feel like everyone now is getting off at freaking dark because the sun sets like 4:00 in the afternoon.
Right, yeah.
I can't sucks right archery now. After 5. It's like already the deer is dead.
That's right.
It's cool.
So it's just gonna be a lot of training Just got to get my right leg healthy. I mean, I've been in a brace for the whole season, so definitely need to take time off, let that heal up. That'd be a big one for me.
Yeah. Now, like, do you think, like, do you shoot better shooting with your buddies, or do you shoot better like with people that are better than you to make you, shoot better? Does that make sense?
Really depends on the match, and I think your mentality. I really enjoy shooting my buddies. Like nationals, it's shot with all my local guys, and it's just there's no pressure because everybody's just having a good time, and we all shot really well. I think sometimes when you shoot with, like, let's just say you jump into super squad ish, you want to call it super squad. I feel sometimes you're chasing them, and then if your mentality ain't right, you're going to start chasing them on your movement and your speed, and then you're going to fall apart. Mm-hmm. I do think there's a benefit to shooting with higher guys. You can watch their stage planning and just their movement, right? But you're also not wanting to change shit on the fly where you're at a major.
Yeah.
So, like, shooting, like, I shot with Shane over in Area 1. I was shooting carry off the shot limited, of course, so there was no real issue there of trying to catch him or change my style.
Yeah.
So in that kind of aspect, I think it's fun to shoot. He's a friend of mine, but like jumping on a super squad, I don't know if it's that beneficial for people.
Yeah. I think it's just at the end of the day, yeah, you want to be stress free. And yeah, if you do shoot with people that are better than you or the super squad, because I know I have done that, you just have to like not compare yourself to them. Like you can learn from them, but knowing that they've put in 20 years and you put in 3, that's a huge difference,
Right. And it all comes back to that mindset I was talking about. It's just, if you let your head get in the game, you're going to screw yourself over. Yeah. If you can sit there and just shoot your game and still learn from them, that's a benefit, right? Mm-hmm. But we also do this sport for fun with our friends, so it's nice to actually just shoot with your buddies.
Yeah.
And then, like me, I squad with my students and buddies. So then at the same time, I can coach my guys as I'm shooting, which for me, I seem to shoot better when I'm coaching my guys at the same time.
Yeah, because you're not.
Because I'm not. Exactly. I'm just having a good time and teaching. So.
Yeah. Okay. So backing up to like the nationals that you shot, I'm curious what like day 1, day 2 pre-match like look like for you. So how are you walking stages? How are you kind of breaking down your plans for the, next 3 days? What are you mostly like looking at when you go through that?
So for me, I'm kind of weird on stage, like walking stages and stuff. I know a lot of guys walk the whole match in the first day. I don't do that. I only walk what I'm shooting on day 1. And then I look for my spots where I can go 100%, 90%, right? Your throttle control, how many no shoots there is, and kind of I time it in my head of what it should be with my skill level of where I should be on that stage, and then I envision myself just doing it. So, like nationals, usually shooting 6 stages a day, roughly.
Yeah.
So I'm able to maintain that in my brain, then walk through in my head over and over again. But I feel like if I walked all 18, trying to stage plan for all that's going to throw that to shit. And it's all about how your brain works. If you can process 18 stages, cool, right?
Right.
Some matches I don't walk stages till the morning of, because it's just nice and fresh in the head, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it really depends on how I feel for the match. Like if I drive it in and I'm getting there the day right before late and I can't walk stages, I'm like, whatever. I'll just walk in the morning. I'll get up an extra hour early and get there. National, same thing. I walked 1 through, whatever phase I was in, phase 3, I think, or zone 3. Then I walked zone 2, blah, blah, blah. So, but I don't think there's a right way or wrong way to prep for the match. It's just what's your way.
Yeah. But you're looking, like you said, throttle control where you need to, or entries, exits, all of that kind of stuff. Do you typically find yourself on match day shooting the stage plan you'd come up with, in walkthrough? Does it change?
90% of the time, yeah. It's very rare that you'll catch me changing a stage plan just because I saw like somebody else doing it.
Yeah.
Once it's embedded because then you're just asking to make a mental mistake.
Yeah, that's true.
Like Area 2, I was one of the few people to shoot one stage a certain way out of the whole squad, and after I went last, and everybody's like, "Oh wow, I like that plan better," and I'm just like,
stuck with it. Yeah,
it's my way. It's and I shoot towards my strength. Mm-hmm. So I mean, everybody has a different strengths and weaknesses. Like I treat partial paper as open paper, especially when I'm shooting like open or dot. So I'm just blowing past them. versus other people, getting positioned and shooting it stagnant, I guess I should say. So just play to your strengths, and that's key.
Makes sense. Now, for like day one, are you that person that goes through and checks the scores each day of your match? Well, obviously the last day. No, you don't.
So like usually like somebody that's with me will bring up the scores and be like, oh, hey, I don't really care. Day one scores don't mean shit. Mm-hmm. There's so much points left out there. You can have 5 stage wins. Doesn't mean you're going to finish well, right?
Yep.
I mean, there's no point. Now, day 2, I'll start looking if I feel like I slack some points somewhere, just to kind of get a feel where I'm at in my scoring.
Yeah.
So if I feel I had a hot day, I usually won't check. It just really depends. I'll have a few matches where I had a bad day, right? And I'm making mics or mistakes or malfunctions. Mm-hmm. Then I'll say, all right, let me look at the scores. Do I need to push just a hair here? Mm-hmm. Because you don't want to get in the mindset that you just got to go 100% the whole match, because then that's where it goes to shit.
Yeah. The people who actually know this know that you shoot a consistent match at 80, 90%, whatever, and you're going to win. It's not the 100% every single time.
Exactly. And I see a lot of guys get in their own head with scores. Like they'll sit there and they'll just keep doing the math in their head, and they're like, shit, I'm losing by 100 points. I got to make up 100 points. And I'm like, just shoot your game and let's see what happens. I mean, sometimes I'll peek and just see what my alpha to Charlie count is and deltas and make sure I'm not making, because if I'm making a lot of deltas, then I know I'm pushing the speed a little bit and I just need to tone it down a little bit. But as for like placement with everybody else's scores, I can give a shit less.
Yeah, no, this is good insight. So I always try and ask people this, like you're right. And I try to tell people this. Someone screenshotted over this past weekend at Fort Benning, their day one. I was like, it's day one. There's 3 days, bro. Like, oh, but I'm sitting here. I was like, that's cool. There's so many people that haven't. Go ahead.
You see a few people like they'll screenshot RO days.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm number 2 overall. And I'm like, yeah, but there's 400 people coming tomorrow.
What's frustrating about that too is there's Instagram followers that think that's like the whole match. It's the end. They've done it, and like they have no clue. Like, oh, bro,
well, congratulations, right? And I get it. Like it's cool to see your name on top, especially if you're not a top level shooter, right? You're like, cool, I'm fucking right there. But we all, in the shooting community, we all know that's you did good, but that's not going to stand most of the time.
Oh no, it's frustrating. I had someone post his wife's scores. She had 4 stages in or something. Or she had 5. I didn't have my 5th in. And I was like, and then it moved, of course, when I was done. I was like, well, you can't go out there and say that. Like you can't. Oh my gosh. But I don't want to digress. But what I was curious about is like, like you said, you have to figure out your own mindset. If you did a bad day, you probably shouldn't go look at those scores. If you do, can you handle it to not bring it into day 2 or whatever? That's what I was more learning. Like, how does someone learn how to look at their days to know what to do at the next day, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I just don't think, even if you have a bad day, that you shouldn't go turn up the speed tomorrow. I mean, that's just a mistake.
Yeah.
You gotta, it's like, I don't know, to compare it, it's like football, right? If your first half sucked and they're up by 14, just keep doing your thing and score 14 points and let them make the mistakes, right? Mm-hmm. So like, let's say you shot 20% on stage because you had a bad malfunction, right? That sucks because you dropped 100 points, but let them let them lose 100 points over 5 stages, and you gain back on it. It's especially long matches. It's easy to make up points.
Yeah.
Now, like at a local, you fuck up one stage, you're not going to win. It's that simple, right? There's no room for making up points there. But area matches, nationals. I mean, next year it's 28 stages at high cap. You can literally 0 a stage and still finish out fine, because that's 27 stages you can gain back on somebody, right? Yeah. Now, if you make a mistake, 0 stage at like JJ and Christian's level, that's different, right?
Yeah.
I'm not there yet, right? I can shoot master level and low GM, but I'm not at that level. Probably never will be, honestly. I just work too much. I run 2 companies, so I don't have the time to just dedicate as much time as they do. So
yeah, no, for sure. So that's what I was curious about, like match mentality. And then like, what did you learn after each nationals? Like, how did you go home and get together like a training plan? How did you learn what you needed to work on and that kind of thing?
So I have a journal. I actually give a shout out to Mike about that. So yeah, I just use this performance analyst journal. I write down the mistakes I made, my score, my time. And then I look at my videos and see where I lost time on my movement. If it was my movement, was it malfunctions? Was it, if I throw a mic because I didn't respect the tuxedo at 20 yards, right? And then I'll just go practice that at training when I do get time to do live fire.
Okay.
So, all my live fire training is retarded. You can ask Riley. It's just super hard.
Mm-hmm.
All my tuxes are like 2 inches wide. All my partials, I have this much zone. I make it a lot harder in training. So when I go out there, I can treat those like open paper as much as I can, right?
Yeah, it's aim small, miss small. Yeah.
Same theory, right? Yeah. So, but at distance, so then when there's a partial tux at 10 yards or 15, and I shoot them at 30 smaller, then it's cakewalk.
Yeah. So. I like that. Okay. Yeah. Mike had a good tip. I did the same thing with journal. I did both though, like where a lot of people would go and write down negative or think negatively. I've tried to add positives.
Right. My positive. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like when I did real well, I'm like, excellent footwork, excellent movement on this match. Boom. Right. Give myself a little pat on the back.
I want you to read from your journal. Like open up Randley and like tell, yeah.
No.
Yeah. Read one. Come on.
Let me see. I don't have I just got this season, so I don't have all my matches in here. But
excuses already. I want to read some excerpts.
So this one said, take more time on farther steel targets, more aggression in transitions, too many makeup shots and stills. Find my zero.
Sorry, that was perfect.
So, yeah, there you go. And that's just me pushing still and not respecting it. And that was me shooting a CO for the first time.
Okay, that's fair.
Again,
with a borrowed gun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I just grabbed it out of the box. I'm like, yeah, let's fucking send it. I didn't know what zero was or where it's at. So
that matters.
Trying to shoot it like irons. Exactly. So, but then again, on positive, it's like, hey, footwork was on point. Cadence was perfect. Boom, we top 3 the whole match. Awesome. So you got to have positives too, because everything's negative. It turns into a negative mindset.
Yes. Yep.
But you got to give yourself the props here and there that, hey, I executed this really well.
Yeah.
Or, hey, I actually had a good mental game after something bad happened.
Mm-hmm. So. How are you taking notes, by the way, at just majors, or are you doing it at locals too?
Locals too.
Yeah.
Yep. So I treat locals are my live fire training.
Okay.
So of course I want to win locals just because I'm competitive. They don't mean shit. But I'll also practice stuff at a local that might seem off the wall to some of the guys shooting because that's their major, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And so I always aim for top, first spot, second spot, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I know if I make a mistake, it's because I was testing something or testing a theory or some kind of crazy push.
Yeah, like shout out to Trace Decker. You brought it up actually real quick. That helps. So like people that shoot majors, he told me go to USPSA local and shoot for speed. Like not worry about accuracy. Next time, accurate, like A is A, so it might be slower. Literally figure out what that thing is. Because the local's not important. It doesn't mean shit. It really doesn't mean shit. Say that louder for the people in the back. But, And
that's the thing. You can find your 90% match speed after you push one side and push the other side.
Yeah.
Because there's 2 gears in shooting, right? It's speed and accuracy. Once you find that perfect balance, that's when you start connecting and start having 100% stages.
Yeah.
If you're too fast and not accurate, right, you're shooting 70, 80%. If you shoot accuracy over speed, you're still shooting 80%, but your raw time's way too slow.
Yeah.
So until you can get here to get to 90% or better, that's when everything kind of comes together.
So who taught you that? Because I wish I learned sooner about testing one aspect of shooting at a local.
Just honestly, just myself, theorizing.
I mean, I'm an idiot apparently.
I'm a very mental person. Like I'll do a lot of training watching people shoot their videos and I can mentally break that in my head. And then when I'm driving like on these long trips, I'll train my brain of what I want to do with it. And then it seems to translate in person. Like it's weird, but I have that ability. So
yeah, you're definitely a road warrior too. How far have you driven for a match?
16 hours, 17 hours is probably my longest so far.
Solid. You and I are both idiots. So what's the whatever day one that you've left, and then day 2, what time did you arrive? Like home, or you know what I mean?
So usually I'll leave right after the match and I'll shoot all day, go to the awards, and haul ass. So like nationals, didn't get out of there till I don't know if I can late.
Yeah.
Get home at like 8 a.m, go straight to work, so I don't sleep for 2 days. You remember, what was it? Looking at, I drove in and then just went and worked the Ely booth for the whole day because I couldn't sleep.
Yep.
But I was up for like 50 hours.
It was not healthy.
Yeah, not healthy at all. Looked like a dead guy. So
But I've done the opposite where I left on like 6 o'clock after a 3-gun match all weekend, got home at 8 a.m. and I slept for 2 days. Like I'm out.
Nice. I don't sleep much, so I don't miss it much.
Yeah. Well, this was a 2-month journey. 2-month journey, 2 matches, to be fair. But yeah, no, it was brutal. In the middle of the summer, it's too hot. 3-gun in summer is stupid. I'm going to tell you that.
Any shooting down here in the summer sucks, but
yeah.
It actually it's advantage because you're training in shit conditions, and when you go shoot somewhere else, it's like, damn, this is nice. Like,
yeah, that's true.
Kind of like the guys shooting in 10-degree weather, and then they come shoot a cold match, and they have an advantage over the guys that shoot in the desert.
Yes.
So
not for me either.
Right.
I was gonna ask. Oh, are you shooting any of like Max Lee Grandis's carbine matches or whatever next year?
So I shot one this year, the first ever.
Yeah.
I was very happy with that one. I took 10th overall in the practical division. That one I borrowed an AR with an ACOG on it. Definitely not the right rifle for that kind of shit. But it was a Sig Virtus, the real heavy piston driven one with the ACOG, and yeah, we just kind of sent it, shot 40 at it, even though there's no major minor.
Yeah,
it was a good time. So
awesome.
That was a really fun match. I enjoyed the targets and the way they ran it. I think it was a very well ran match. I wanted to go again here in a couple weeks, but it's my daughter's 6th birthday. She wouldn't let me. So
that's fair. I'm gonna go in March though. I think he's having his next one in March.
Yeah, I may try to make that one. I enjoy it. I love rifle work. I mean, I just enjoy shooting a rifle. So
nobody's really putting those on anymore. I know Noveski had their carbine series for a while. They used to have like a CQB match down in Mississippi. We could shoot AKs and everything in division. But like for the most part, I haven't seen a true like rifle match like Max is bringing,
And I think it's good that he's revamping it and getting more people to show up. So it brings all different types of people, right? Like when I went to the first one, there's a lot of guys like that follow like T-Rex Arms. Mm-hmm. So they look like his little fucking copies. But it's good to see him at a match, right? Because they wouldn't normally be at a match.
That's true.
So it's good to see them trying to incorporate that. And then he was there, he sponsored a few stages, which was cool. The guy, he seems nice. I've only talked to him at matches, like at that match. Just, I got nothing bad to say about anybody that teaches the correct way. But it's good. I think that's the only way you get more people to join our sport. It doesn't matter what, if it's rifle or handgun. It's just our sports are sport. It's all guns. Brings more people to the 2A community. So,
well, he's doing different targets, different rules and stuff that people are excited about. Yeah.
Of the kill shot and the kilo box, that thing was awesome. Cause it's just a lot of the tactical shooting guys, like when I teach the SWAT team stuff, it's we aim for the credit card. So when you transition that to that sport, it's like, hey, I've done this before. Shit, that's easy. I don't have to worry about 2 shots, right?
Yeah.
Or you rip 2 at it, you get one in the K box. It's game, right? You got your points.
Yeah.
They're different. They're more shaped like a like a human silhouette thing.
Person, yeah.
Person. The rules I like the rules. I mean, it's totally different though if you never shot that style. Because like my first day there, I was like, oh, I can just have my rifle banging around, because it's just a stick until the mag's in it. So it took me a while to get used to that because I'm like, oh man, I'm flagging people, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
big boy rules.
You just gotta, And then the different targets, brown is for this, white's for this. That's definitely another mindset thing. Mm-hmm. Kind of like our 2-gun nats is, you had to remember white was rifle, brown was pistol, whatever.
Well, it's process. The faster that you can process information is actually going to make you a better shooter. So it's the processing that you saw the front sight, that you called your hit, that you got that, you can move, blah, blah, blah. So like, that technical stuff really helps people and they don't understand that. Like when it's happening.
And I was super excited to take 10th overall on that. I mean, that was for being my first 2-gun match officially like that. I felt really good with that performance. So I'd like to go do better. Hopefully top 5 it. So there's some real talent in that sport though. You got like Farewell, you got Green, you got all them guys, and they're tough.
Yep. Which just makes it fun.
It does. I like to test myself against the best. I mean, that's
that's why we go to majors.
Exactly. And that's why I go to a ton of them. So.
Oh, what was I going to ask? Oh, have you shot an AK match yet?
I have not.
Really want to.
Marco makes me want to because I see him shooting his AK and it's pretty sweet. So
he has like an AK for everyone to use.
He has every type of AK you can ever think of. He brought them to the 2-gun match and I was like, sick.
You need to go shoot that. You're closer. You could go do that in a weekend.
Yeah, definitely could.
Love it.
Might have to take that up next year.
For sure. That's on my list. So switching gears, talking about Valhalla Armory. So when did you open that business? Why did you open that business? What was that leap of faith that you took to do that?
So I love guns. I love teaching people about guns. I got my gunsmithing license back in the day, so I figured, hell, why not just incorporate it all in one company? Training, gunsmithing, and sales. I think everybody should own a gun. That's, of course, within their legal status or whatever, but I'm not going to get into all that crap. But, yeah, it was something I wanted to do on the side. So I also run a construction company, but, the gun thing's my favorite part. Hopefully one day that's all I'm doing is just training, shooting, and doing my thing. So I opened that back in 17. So it's about 4 years now. So this last year and a half has been kind of rough, of course, trying to get guns because COVID. Warehouses have been only shipping to the bigger companies. I'm starting to see more come in. So that's nice that we're starting to maybe get a little back of normal. Ammo's still tough to get and crazy priced, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, just, gear still sells nicely. So, I try to carry a little bit of different people's shit. They'll send me a prototype. I'll try it out. And then if I like it, I'll put it on the shelf.
Cool. And do you have a storefront or is it just all online?
I had a storefront and then shut it down after like 6 months of COVID. It was losing money. So now it's just online and just, if someone calls me, hey, can you get me this gun? Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome.
So hopefully 22, if things go back to normal, I'll open up a storefront again.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say it's 17. That's still in startup mode. Businesses fail pretty quickly in 2-3 years. And if you're entering COVID, that's hard.
Yep.
Especially with brick and mortar.
Definitely been tough. So.
But what's been the best part of all of that, despite the challenge?
That's part of owning your own business and like that kind of business is just like getting guns in new people's hands.
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially when you get, because we'll offer, like, if you buy this gun, we'll offer a basic class, right? You get a free class with it. So then I get women or older people that's never shot a gun. They're like terrified of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll let them fit the gun they want. I'll take them out, shoot all these different guns and say, hey, which one fits best? Which one do you shoot best? And then we'll take the class and then I'll sell them a gun, right?
That's awesome.
So it's like, I let them, because you can't, there's no just one gun that fits women.
Mm-hmm.
I've had girls that can rack a real strong gun. It's just, they're built.
You mean like the two 1911s behind the back?
Exactly. But then I've had ladies that, they can't rack a gun other than like the Shield EZ with the ball bearings.
Yeah.
Everybody's different.
Mm-hmm.
So then you got some that, their boyfriend's like, oh no, you need this gun specifically, but it's not even the right gun, right? I had one girl come to my class and she's shooting a fucking 10 mil short barrel.
No way.
Right? She's almost losing in every shot. And I'm just like, here, try my Glock 19, right?
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, this is actually enjoyable because nobody likes shooting a 10 mil, especially small frame like that. It's just not pleasurable.
No.
And then, some guys are like, oh no, my wife needs a 22. And I'm like, let's get her like a 380 or, something let's let her try something before. So for me, that's it. It's like getting the new people to start shooting and most of them enjoy it. Like, and for me, it's a stress relief. So
yeah,
people find that as an outlet now and I enjoy that. And they'll see me and they're like, hey man, I've been practicing. And I'm like, awesome. And then they want to start competing at some point. Yep. Especially the guys. They're like, hey, can I come out and try that at a local? And I'm like, yeah, dude, here's all the locals I shoot in a 3-hour radius. Come on out. You can ride with me even, right?
Yeah.
So
the funny part about that, I think, is that we are the drug dealers where we're like the one in like 500 miles. Like there's not many of us. Like when people, like I can't even think about it. It's like, yep, gateway drug right here.
Yep. Exactly. It's an addicting thing.
Yeah.
And I get there's fear of shooting and I get it.
It's
it
a respect for the power of what a gun can do. So like I do understand that at the beginning, right?
But a gun's no different than a hammer or it's how you use it is what it's going to do. And so like the ones that were raised like, left that they were like guns are evil, guns are bad. And then they want to try it and then they realize shit, this is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But then they get shunned by their family over it. So then they have to make that decision, right?
Yeah.
Which sucks because family should accept you for if you want to shoot a gun or if you don't, like whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it opens a whole new world to people. because a gun's harmless as long as it's in the right hands, right?
Absolutely. I love that.
And like my daughter, since she was 2, I used to hand her a Glock frame, and we would dry fire with it.
Oh.
And she doesn't touch. She knows not to touch a gun. It's how you raise them, how you teach them. I mean, she owns 5 guns. She gets one every year for her
birthday.
birthday.
She know that? Oh, I was gonna say, does she know she has 5?
Yeah, so she picks out her gun and I buy it for her from the shop. Like last year it was a purple cricket, right?
Wait, how does a 1-year-old pick out a firearm though?
I just give her a book and she put her finger on it. And then like I bought her a old Coulter pump action 22 that was a collectible. I bought that.
That's cool.
And gave her that one for like her 2nd birthday, right? So it's just now that she's being more aware, she can pick what she wants. And right now it's colors. So the crickets are definitely her
the colors
thing. Yeah.
That is awesome. Okay, have you taught her like the firearm rules of safety and all of that? Like, is she getting understanding of that?
She knows black is safe and red is dead.
Ooh, I like that. Okay.
Yeah, so that's the easiest way to teach her that. We go out and shoot. She has her cricket bolt gun, and she has a few handguns that she plays with, and she's really smart for her age. She's really tall and big. Like she's 66 pounds at 5, but like super lean and 4 foot tall.
That's awesome.
So, good genetics on that part, But she respects the guns and she enjoys the time shooting them. So,
have you taken her hunting?
Yeah, we'll try to go shoot rabbits and stuff. She ain't quite got it down, like getting the fast enough acquisition of the rabbit before it takes off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like when we shoot cans, she hit a can and she just like, oh my god, and it's that's the moment I live for. Is just I want her to be proficient with the gun as I am. Yeah. And I taught her mom, and she's proficient with the gun now, so she can defend herself, especially when I was gone all the time. Definitely didn't want to leave her home without being able to shoot a gun.
Heck yeah.
Now I take her back home, so I'll take care of the people.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's cool. There's something about taking someone to the range and they're shooting paper, but there is nothing like seeing someone hit a reactive target. It doesn't matter what it is, clay, steel. Mine was cans from my grandpa sitting on a log. Right. But that's like, yeah, it's fun.
I utilize a lot of those dummy ones with the head spray. When they hit them in the head, it missed out the red spray.
Yep.
Especially in my classes, just so they're aiming at a human, and it's actually they're like, oh shit, I just blew his brains out, right?
Yep.
Just to get that mindset to a point, because I mean, it's not taking someone's life is definitely not something we aim to do, but everybody should be prepared for it if ever needed.
Yep, we're not stormtroopers. We have 1 second and 1 shot typically,
Exactly. Get it out in the threat and move on. So.
Now, I know we skipped back over this, but curious about like you've worked with several sponsors like during your shooting career too. Like how did those connections with those brands kind of start, and how do those partnerships really help both parties?
So it's a give and take system, of course. When I first started shooting, I linked up with Loki Tactical, Rook Customs, and No Name Precision, right? So they're all Glock, customizers. Loki did their slides, and I really loved the product. I owned like 3 of them before I even talked to him about it.
Yeah.
And so, I was like, hey, man, I'll promote y'all. He hooked me up with a slide here and there. So it was a give and take, right? I'd promote him everywhere, pass out his gear, let people test out the slides. No Name Precision did custom CNC work for me. So he'd make me like custom guns for the shop. Just different, whatever I wanted. He'd send me prototypes. Hey, test this out for me.
Yeah. And
then I'd give him an honest review on it. Rook Customs, that's my boy down in Hawaii. He does grips. Dude's just a freaking maniac with grips. But he's just, it's just give and take. You can't just take from these companies. That's what a lot of people think. It's just gimme, gimme, gimme.
Yep.
But if you're not putting back what you're getting, then what's the point of them sponsoring you or helping you grow, right? You're growing each other's brand pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, that's simple. So some of them, they come to you. Some of them, you come to them. I mean, like I said, people ask me how to get sponsors, and I'm like, word of mouth is huge. How you carry yourself, your finishes at matches. Some companies care more about your finishes, right?
Yeah. It's not mine.
Some of them care about your character and like helping other people, bringing you students, etc. So it really depends on if your values align. That's a great company to work for.
Yeah.
Like Ely, they reached out to me. So that was really cool. They were like, "Hey, we've been watching you. We like the way you conduct everything." So it was awesome that they reached out, and it all started with just a Facebook message.
Yeah.
They're like, "Hey, I don't have a number for you. Can I call you?" And I'm like, "Sure." So,
No, it's a smaller community than we think as well. Not one of my sponsors, but Widener's, who I wrote for, and I still write for like 3 years now. I didn't meet them in person until SHOT Show of 2020. Yeah. Just crazy thing about it was like 2 years into it before I even met them in person,
there's
a power of online. Do what?
Right. They're still sponsors I've shot for 3 years and never met them. I mean, it's just, like I said, it's a business. That's how you have to see it all. It's what can I give them to give me what, I need. So if you're not promoting, you should be giving them what they need online for promotion. But if you're not doing that, then there's no point in them signing you or helping you out any way.
Yeah. Now, I'll ask you this on the spot. What are like 3 things that shooters can do, whether they're sponsored or not, but what are 3 things that shooters can do to share about brands and companies on social media?
Man, all it takes is a simple like or comment on a company's page that they post something. That algorithm changes, right? That's changing all the time. It's hard to keep track of.
Yeah.
But all it takes is a simple share, simple like, and that's going to bring somebody on your page to see that company, and then they're going to click it and see what that's about, right? It's just a long process of how that works. So if I share an Ely thing and somebody that doesn't shoot on my page, right? It could be like someone that does competition fitness or boat archery, right? They see that, then they're like, "Oh, what's this?" And they hit their page, well, then it just makes a bigger web for them. So simple share, simple shout outs. If you use their product, shout them out. I mean, if it runs good, hey, thanks, Ely Ammo ran great at nationals, or hey, my Atlas that I bought used ran great, or it's that simple. I mean, it's just simple things to make everybody be connected. The web is the greatest thing ever for expanding your horizons with companies.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, without it, I mean, it's if you weren't local to that company, they didn't, they saw your name on a paper, but that's about as far as it went.
Yeah, and I mean, it's the people traveling too. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah, and I met a lot of them face to face, just being at matches. So like Grizzly Years, I met him a few times at nationals, and finally he was like, "Hey man, I'd like for you to shoot for me." And I bought his ears before I even shot for him. Loved them. They even work with the Open, which is really nice to have electronic ears with that.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was it worked out match wise. It was just he had a product I liked, and I liked his product, so I was able to share it with people.
It's awesome. That's good. Yeah. So I was hoping people listen, because I know you and I are very active on social media. So yeah, making posts, sharing posts, liking, commenting, simple stuff, but it goes a long way.
It does. Yeah. And if you don't do it, then nobody sees your stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Coming toward the end of this, I was curious, is there a shooting sport or like another hobby, doesn't have to be shooting, that you haven't tried that you really want to get into one day?
Spelunking. No.
No, for real? Like,
I mean, I do it. I'll do anything. I like adrenaline, so
you do. I know you do. Stupid stuff.
Sign me up. Sign me up. I'm in. I don't know, like nothing. Like I do everything I want to do. Right? If there's something out there that I've never heard of that excites me, I mean, let me know and I'll be down. So
okay.
I can't think of anything top of my head that's just speaking out to me, because I've done everything I could think of that is danger to my life. So
solid. Okay, so what's next for Chase, just in life and shooting and whatever?
Just off-season training and get ready for the next season and lay out my schedule and make it happen. So definitely want to top as many majors as I can, and definitely aiming for that top 20 at nationals this year or next year. So
awesome.
I didn't get that this year due to some issues, but next year it happened. So
awesome. Well, Chase, any final thoughts you want to leave listeners with?
Just make sure your gear's good to go whenever you go to a big match. Don't wing it. Always roll your own, and just I mean, a little checking of your gear goes a long ways. That's something I had to learn this year. So, as much as we shoot, you got to send in your guns for checkup here and there.
Yeah.
Parts are going to break no matter what. I learned that this year hard.
I did that this year as well. Learn the way. Dumb, but sent it in, got it back, and it's done. It runs.
That's the thing. Yeah, I was going to send it in for Nats, and then I ended up catching COVID, and I was like, oh well, it'll be fine. And yeah, learned that hard way. So
yeah,
QC your gear and just train. I mean, it's all what you want to do in your life. It's all it is. Envision it and make it happen. So
beautiful. Love it. And final thing is, any shout outs you want to give to the sponsors that support you?
Yes. Shout out to Ely. They've been a great sponsor this season to me. Team Motley, that's my boy, that takes care of me, helps me out. You got Long Shot of Holsters out of Colorado. They make great gear. That's what I run for the last 3 years. Never broken a holster or caddy, even with some of these weird stages we shoot. Rook Customs, if you need grips, that's the guy to go to. Grizzly Ears for your electronic ears. No Name Precision for any kind of CNC work you need. You can do anything you can draw, he'll make it for you. Shell Shock Technologies, their 9 major brass or their magnetic brass metal, whatever you're going to call it, is outstanding for retaining your stuff. Atlas, of course, for all the good guns and solid customer service. Can't find a much better gun in the companies. Revolution Brass, he has bulk brass if you like once fired. That dude helped me get through the seasons, definitely. Empty Pocket Shooting's a local guy that takes care of us here. He doesn't have Facebook or anything, but it's a pretty cool logo. So
Empty Brass, Empty Pockets.
Yeah, it's just a monopoly man doing this because he's broke. And then Brick-Arms, I'm team captain for them this year, so they signed me on that. I'm so pretty excited to do some more rifle work with them next year.
Cool.
And then, of course, Valhalla Armory.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, shout out to
all my tax write-offs.
Yeah. Love it. Well, how can people find you online on social media? And then what's your website URL?
So the Bearded Shooter for Instagram. I think Facebook's just Chase Rains. Trying to learn Facebook a little bit better now. For the company, it's Valhalla Armory on Facebook and Instagram. And then our website for Valhalla Armory is valhalla-armory.com. Awesome. If you can't find something on there, just shoot me a text or DM and we'll make it happen for you.
Slide in those DMs. Get that thing.
That's right. Hit me up with whatever you need. So
love it. James, thanks for being on the podcast. It's been a fun year seeing you all across the country in different cities.
Yeah, definitely look forward to A6. That'll be our first one. We get to hang out.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be like maybe my second match of the whole year. So I haven't finished my schedule yet, but yeah.
I'm looking at 20, but I'm trying to tone it down to 15. So we'll see.
Yeah,
especially if it's getting busier. So
yeah, I'm trying to figure out strategically what to shoot. So I'm happy, and I'm not showing up with broken firearms.
It's definitely true. So, but I'll let everybody know what I'm gonna focus on more next year once the season starts. So
love it.
Keep everybody guessing. See if it's dot or iron, or we'll see what happens.
Love it. Awesome. Well, thanks for listening, guys. Yeah, go follow Chase. Again, Bearded Shooter, so that's always fun. But yeah, he's definitely in a ton of cities just as much as I am. So if you ever need gear, guns, whatever from us, probably not me, borrow it from Chase, but you'll be good to go.
Just nobody can touch the beard though. So just get that out there. Beard's off limits.
Love it. All right. Thanks, listeners. Tune in for the next episode coming soon.
Thanks for listening to the Reticle Up podcast. Be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Follow along on social media at Reticle Up or 3 Gun Kenzie.